What's up, Oilers Nation? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilers Nation After Dark. Connor Halley here with you. Producer Aaron Verdado behind the scenes. He'll join us later on. And we will have the man himself, the Bagged Milk, on this edition of Oilers Nation After Dark coming up in a second here. Before we get to that, though, we'll get to the good, the bad, the oily. We'll talk a little bit about all that happened in that game. The Oilers overcoming a little bit of adversity and playing tall. I'll give you a quick rundown of exactly what happened in case you may have missed it. And it was a good start for the Edmonton Oilers once again in this one. After the first period, they're up 2-0. Ryan McLeod with his 7th goal of the season. Another even strength goal. Vinny Desharnais gets the puck on net. And real good positive, some depth scoring for the Oilers. Leon Draisaitl will get his 27th goal of the season on the power play. We're going to talk about that one in just a couple of minutes here. The Tampa Bay Lightning, though, of course, we know they have a lot of depth in that lineup. You don't win back-to-back Stanley Cups without it. They would keep it a game. Brandon Hagel would score his 18th goal of the season to get things going. Zach Hyman responds for the Oilers with his 22nd goal, and then the Tampa Bay Lightning superstars would show up. Steven Stamkos, he's now got 504 career goals, or is it 503? It's a lot. 22 on the season. He would make it a 3-2 hockey game. Braden Point would score his 27th of the season to make it 3-3. But in the third period, the captain does what he does. He scores his 39th goal of this season. He's 1 away from 40. The guy is absolutely on fire. He gives the Oilers the 4-3 lead, and then Zach Hyman would get his 2nd of the game to ice it. The Oilers 5-3 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning, an absolutely massive win. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, make sure to get in that comment section. We love the feedback. Norm says, "Hey, Thomas, what a game." Thomas is my real name, so Norm, shout out to you for knowing that one. You guys call me Thomas, call me Connor, whatever you want to. Also, pound that like button if you're on YouTube. Right now, we are going to get to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Cornerstone Insurance Brokers, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage, your destination for commercial, home, and auto insurance with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca for more information. And as we do typically with the good, the bad, and the oily, we'll bring in our guest tonight. We've got the man himself, the Bagged Milk, joining me, Mr. BM. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, buddy. That's a huge win for the Oilers. Come on.
100%. 100%.
Listen,
I mean, we got
a game with. Sorry, Connor, to cut you off. That was a game.
No,
that
you go ahead.
Like a playoff vibe. Tampa was in town and it was spicy, and the Oilers came out with a 2-goal win. We hit the puck line. Everybody's celebrating.
100%. Yeah. I mean, hopefully you guys got in there at betway.com and got a little win here and there. Do so responsibly, 19 plus with betway.com. And why don't we start off with the good? And we're going to go with Leon's stare down. Our producer, Aaron, I think you got the clip there, correct?
I love this. Patty Maroon takes down Connor, gives him a little slew foot, and then the boys do what they do on the power play. And then as Pat Maroon's coming out of the penalty box, you see, here he comes. And Leon's going to give him a stare down. Look at it. It's great. I love when Leon does that kind of stuff. When he's a little bit sassy, when he's fired up, I love when he gets the guys going. He's just got that little bit of dick in his game where it's just, he wants to spice things up, and I love it. Pat Maroon, that was a dumb penalty, baby, and you got burned for it.
A little pissy as he was becoming known for last year. You're right, Big Milk. I absolutely love that. That little swagger, just giving him the look. You know, Patty Maroon's kind of got his head down too, not wanting to make eye contact with his former teammate. So I'm sure Draisaitl said something to him to kind of make him look up at it. He's trying to look straight ahead. He doesn't want to see it. And Leon makes sure he knows 100%. It's really good to see from this group that little bit of moxie. We'll talk about that more so as we go on here on Oilers Nation After Dark. We'll get to the bad now here, and that is Nurse taking the bait. And we saw the fight between Corey Perry and Darnell Nurse. That's a great trade-off for the Tampa Bay Lightning when they can take off the team's number one defenseman. Even if you don't like him, he is the Oilers' number one defenseman. And Corey Perry, just a veteran move there.
Yeah, that's the only thing that, like, I love a good scrap as much as the next guy. I really, really do. But at that moment, the Oilers are up by a pair. It's right at the end of the period. It's Corey Perry, like you said. He's on the fourth line. Darnell Nurse is playing 23, 24 minutes. I just didn't like the timing. And on Twitter, I said that I got roasted for it. I was surprised. And I was just like, I just didn't like the timing. I like a scrap. Don't get me wrong. Like, I liked immediately to start the period. Costin got into it with Maroon. Maroon slew foots Connor. Costin steps in. I love it. But this one for Darnell Nurse, it wasn't for me. Connor, thoughts?
Oh, no, I'm with you. I mean, that's immediately what I thought. And I thought, okay, people might like the fact that he's fighting, but, you pick your moments. You don't want to give this Tampa Bay Lightning team any sort of momentum going into the period. And you know what? I mean, the intermission was right there as well. But I don't like Darnell Nurse doing that, taking himself off the ice. It's a 2-goal lead, I know, but that's the most dangerous lead in hockey, and it's against the veteran Tampa Bay team. So I think, yeah, picking and choosing your spots might be a little bit better. But hey, the Oilers got the win. So if that's the biggest thing we can find for the bad, that's a good sign for this club. Let's get to the oily, and we're going to go with the physicality. And, on one side, we talk about Nurse taking the bait there, but at the same time, good to see him not back down. We saw Klim Kostin fight Patrick Maroon. That's a heavyweight right there. You saw them talking about it as it was about to happen. We got the clip right here, courtesy of Sportsnet. And I mean, Louis was talking about it. It's coming. Even going back further, I mean, you can see it right now. This is absolutely awesome. Klim Kostin, I said on Twitter, this guy's never going to have to buy a drink in this city. He's going to become a god in this town if he keeps doing what he's doing. But you go back to the Kucherov hit on Evander Kane, and they're defending each other. Earlier on in the game when Patty Maroon was kind of taking shots at Connor McDavid. A couple of slew foots Maroon. Man, he might not be as beloved in this city anymore. But you saw the team defending each other. It's really great to see, and I wonder if it coincides, obviously with having the giant Vinny Desharnais return, but also Evander Kane, a guy who will fly in, defend his teammates, and also brings that swagger.
Yeah, 100%. As you can see, Connor, I just wanted to upgrade myself a little bit. I saw that you were sitting at a desk. I decided that I too wanted to sit at a desk. But yeah, I 100%. Like, Klim Kostin is doing everything that we could have wanted for this team, because Maroon was beloved in the city. He was our big rig. We were cheering for Anthony. Come on, man. What are you doing? You're picking on Connor. Although I get it. He's firing up his team. They were playing like shit at that point. And then Klim Kostin, he steps in and he does his job. And like you said, he's never going to pay for a drink. We're going to start building this guy's statues. I saw people on Twitter today saying they were buying jerseys. Jay Downton, he bought a jersey tonight in Vegas. We were seeing him in the wild, and I cannot love this story anymore. Klim Kostin for president.
Okay, your picture just got your picture got bigger, and it's awesome. I love that he's pounding the table, fired up here on Oilers Nation After Dark. We'll get to some of the comments. Oh, I mean, I love it. If and you did that on the fly, like that's pretty impressive that you were able to do that. I'm going to just struggling to look at the YouTube comments here. We'll get to the comments section because there's a lot going on here. Electric Jordan, I see Rusty the Reckless Optimist, Liam, of course. I saw him having a banana, so I think the stress level got up for our friend Leon. Larissa's in there. Steve, a different Steve. Oh, you're both Stevens, but I call you Steve like we're on a personal level. I just want to talk about this team and how it seems like it's all coming together. And I know it's, mid to late January, but, going back a week and a half, and I forget who's on post game, but we talked about the Kings game, and just it felt like it was such a low level, and, how these next two games against the Ducks and the Sharks were must-win games for this team, and they win them both. Then you go into Vegas, and it's like, hey, if they can get the win here, holy cow, this road trip gets capped off pretty well. And they've just continued that, beating good teams, playing with swagger, doing all the right things. Even strength's been good, 5-on-5, they're scoring goals, you're getting depth scoring. And then, kind of the cherry on top, you get Evander Kane back into your lineup. I mean, right now I don't think the Oilers are peaking right now, but it's really all coming together for them.
100%. And it's amazing how much a week and change can make, That game against LA, it just went sideways, and the PK was horrible, and there was nothing going right for the boys. And then they kind of started to play together. There was a couple of fights. Puljujarvi got in that one. Klim Kostin got in the one against Danault. They started to kind of have that everybody in the pile mentality, and to see them carry it forward into Anaheim and then San Jose. Like you said, a lot of people disrespected those wins as if you don't also have to beat the bad teams. Go into Vegas on Saturday night. It was basically a home crowd there. Producer Aaron will tell you he was there too. And to have it rolling again against the Kraken and now the Tampa Bay Lightning, they were playing like champs tonight. They were trying to get the Oilers to play their game. Like we talked about earlier, the Corey Perry scrap with Darnell Nurse. This team is buzzing right now. That's a really good Tampa Bay team. I wouldn't be surprised if they make another deep run in the playoffs, and to beat teams like that as we go forward into some, in my opinion, winnable games, Oilers are buzzing right now.
Yeah, I mean it's really good to see, and win the next month here, a lot of winnable games too. Like Tom Gazzola and I talked about it on the pregame show for 12-16. We're like, how many games can they win in their next 10? And I had them at 7-2-1, with this one being one of their losses potentially. They get the win in regulation and go forward in a lot of winnable games. Right now, the Oilers 55 points. Only one back of the Kings and the Kraken as of right now, and only 3 points back of Vegas for first in the division. So, I mean, hey, if you want to head over to betway.com and you're 19 and older, maybe you throw some money down on them winning the division because they're playing great hockey right now. I noticed there's 98 people in the YouTube chat, and we only have like 27 likes. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button, the like button, because those are rookie numbers right now. We got to pump those up. And if you're on Facebook, we see you. We're going to get to some of those comments as well. There was a really good one here, and there's so many comments, it's tough to find, but it said Kleem could fix our LRT issues from AJ. And I mean, it just seems like everything this guy does right now, it's beloved. Like I wouldn't have asked him to go fight Patrick Maroon in there. That's a step up in the weight class. But Kleem Kostin, no hesitation. So I saw someone call him Kostin 316. I'm all for it. We need those signs up at Rogers when they're playing because, this guy's just been exactly what this team needed.
And to think that he came for Dmitry Samorukov, a guy who wasn't going to be on the roster anyway, you'll love to see it. The Oilers are never on the right side of these trades. At least not that I can remember, where it's a depth piece for a depth piece, and all of a sudden the guy walks in and becomes a hero. Like, come on. If he rode in on a horse with a fucking sword in his hand, he could have made a better first impression. We love the guy. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens going forward. Like, what does an extension on Kostin look like? Do you sign him on a heater? Do you wait till the end of the season to see when he really puts it, if he can really put it all together? I don't know, but these are fun problems because he's a fun player to have. And a lot of us hadn't even heard of who he was outside of maybe plugging his ears at the World Juniors until, I don't know, 3 months ago.
No doubt. And so Kleem Kostin, a RFA at the end of the season, those negotiations will be awesome. And I mean, you hate to say it, but he wants to be here. You can tell just the way he talks about McDavid and Draisaitl, playing with those guys, the opportunity, being nervous to play with them. Like, he's just a guy who's becoming more and more beloved in this city. And it's exactly what this team needed, and kind of piling on with, getting a little bit stronger. Desharnais comes into the lineup, Kane. We'll see how it goes. Let's check into the old YouTube chat here. Lots of stuff going. Adam says, huge win, keep this heater going. I think they will. Steven says, Maroon testing Oilers for the Stanley Cup final this year. I mean, that's a long ways away, and a lot of things have to go right. But if those two teams could meet in the final, sign me up for 7 games, because that would be unbelievable. I don't know if my heart could take it, but that would be unbelievable hockey, especially, when that Lightning line goes out there with Stamkos, Kucherov, and Point. Like, that's kind of how it must feel when the Oilers send out McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kane. Like, oh, man, hold on to your butts, because this is crazy.
Yeah, it is really amazing that the Lightning just keep doing it over and over and over again. They've got guys who have been there before. And again, like I said, they played tonight like a team that's won before. And even when they were down by 2, you could see them trying to turn the game back into their favor with the style of play that was more in their favor, getting guys off their game. But again, talk about meeting them in the Stanley Cup Finals, dare to dream, but beating them tonight in January, I'll take that for right now, because that was just as beautiful to me.
Electric Jordan says, Tyler is here judging Connor. Tyler, you're Chuck. Hello, good sir. How you doing? We're trying to hold it down here on the post-game show. I think you said, hope that's straight vodka. It's just water tonight, keeping it PG. Got to be up in the morning. We've got one here from Tyler. RIP the Beatcast. That's not the case, is it?
No, I actually, you know what? I'm fired out about this win. After we're done here, I might do a Beatcast anyway.
Oh, good to hear it. Good to hear it.
Content don't sleep.
Now that's how it is. Content is key. That's how you win in this game. Now, when we talk about the goaltending here, Jack Campbell did enough, obviously, to keep the Oilers in this one. Continues to play great hockey, but 5 straight wins in his last 5 starts. What have you thought has changed in his game for this rebound? Is it as simple as saying he found his confidence?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is as simple as he needed a little bit of confidence. You know, I think sometimes we forget about the human element of being an NHL player. And when you come into a new city, especially one like Edmonton, and you maybe don't have the start to the year that you were hoping for, you can't tell me that's not going to weigh on the guy. Goalies, we know, Connor, are creatures of habit. And the guy was feeling so weird about his game that he changed all of his stuff. You don't see that. And I'm happy for him. I think Soup might be back. We're on a low simmer at least. He was gazpacho for the first couple of months of the season. That's just cold Soup. And now we've got him at least on a low simmer. I'm not saying he's back, but he might be back.
Good. That was the line, right, for Campbell's Soup. Do they still use that little catchphrase? Because it's going to work for Jack Campbell and the way he's playing. We go Stuart Skinner, though, on Saturday, right?
Yeah, you have to. Like, at some point, Stuart Skinner's got to get back in the net. He's missed. When was the last time he played now? It feels like it's been about 2 weeks, or at least a week. I don't know. Time stands still sometimes. But yeah, you got to get Stu back in there. He's an all-star. He's going to the special dance. Come on.
Guys, he's a damn all-star, joining Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. No, you think Nude should be there as well? Like 3 Oilers voted in?
Yeah, I mean, if they did it probably the way they did last year, don't you think Nugent Hopkins deserves to be in? He's top 10 in scoring. The guy's having the best start to a season of his career. I mean, what else does he need to do? If he's not going to be an all-star this year, what is it going to take? In 47 games now, I guess he's got 53 points. Like, that's a heater of a season for Nuge. So I just kind of wish he was getting in there. But, I'm selfish that way.
Yeah, I mean, and he like talked about it this offseason, wanting to improve 5-on-5, and that's exactly what he's done. He's not just getting these, cookies, as Struddy likes to call them, on the power play. He's obviously going out there and doing the work himself. It has been great to see. You know what? The NHL is kind of shady. He could have been voted in, and then they're just like, oh no, we can't have 3 Oilers, so let's get Bo Horvat in there. But for the Oilers, I mean, that's going to be fun, and for Stuart Skinner, obviously, maybe he'd rather spend some time with the newborn, but getting a chance to be an all-star and go mix it up with some of those players is going to be very cool. Producer Aaron Bordato, can I bring you in very quickly here?
Yes, you can.
Now, you're the goal setter of this group, so you want us to set some goals here. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking 74 for Stuart Skinner. I mean, if he made the All-Star game, we should probably ride that vibe all the way to the algorithm.
So 74 likes is what we want on the YouTube stream.
Yes, please. Smash that like button, folks.
If we get to 97, so be it. We'll go there. If we get to 99, that's good too. But yeah, hit that like button on YouTube. BaggedMilk, you are now in the office reading. What are you taking a look at there?
Well, I was just diving into a couple of the stats I wanted to tell you about, Connor. Tonight, a big key to this victory, you got to look at the special teams, right? 0 for 2 for Tampa on the power play. So the PK handled their business both times they had to. And then the Oilers finished 1 for 4 on the power play. If that's not a lovely little dose of special team stats for you boys, then I don't know what it is.
Oh, and that goal on the power play, like we talked about it with the look that Leon gave Patty Maroon after the fact, but that was just efficiency, like win a battle. I don't know how. I know you're shorthanded and someone's going to be a little bit open, but I don't know how you leave Leon Draisaitl so wide open in that spot. And yeah, I mean, if the power play, finds its form combined with the way that the Oilers had played this little stretch here, 5-on-5, I mean, I just don't know how you stop this team from scoring 5 goals a game. Like there's just too much firepower on the team. All of a sudden the focus is on how do you slow it down. But yeah, offensively, man, if the power play gets going, it's going to be big for sure. Take the over at betway.com. That would be my free advice to you. What what did you think about the play Kucherov on Evander Kane? James says, how did Kucherov not get a penalty on Kaner? I mean, it seemed pretty obvious. The numbers are there. Kucherov doesn't slow down, but you could probably say there's 2, 3, 4 plays where Kucherov somehow evaded a penalty.
Here, let me bring that in right now, actually.
Like, I don't know what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what was going on with Kucherov tonight, but he basically had a free pass on absolutely everything that was happening. There was nothing getting called on him. And then even when something did get called on him, Foegele gets called for diving. It was ridiculous. And that call wasn't going to be there at first. The refs weren't going to do it. And then the Lightning, they were just big piss babies tonight. They're calling out the refs. They're banging their sticks. They're calling for penalties. And then all of a sudden, Foegele ends up in the box for embellishment. It was ridiculous. But that play specifically, how does he not get one for hitting Kane in the numbers? Like, that seems so easy to me. He's 4 feet from the boards. Takes him, like, do we have to put stop signs on the back of NHL jerseys? Is that what these guys need? We'll treat them like they're kids.
I mean, the NHL and their hitting from behind policy to me is just always so far. Man, BaggedMilk, I'm loving your stock images here. I love that you dressed up for the occasion too. We're kind of scrubby, but you're looking fresh. But like the NHL, yeah, I mean, they're hitting from behind. It always seems a little bit lax, especially, the penalties, suspensions. Like, I don't know what it's going to take. It's almost as if, oh yeah, now you're fired up there, man. The emotion and the range you have. But yeah,
I'm producing on the fly here.
I like it. I can't wait for you to like get out and ride a bike or something. That would be wild if you could get on a bike and do that on the show here. But I mean, at the same, like, is it going to take a player to break his neck, and then we're going to realize, oh man, we should have taken care of that? Because it seems sketchy. And you are kind of in that sweet spot. Like Evander Kane, if he takes another stride, he's in a dangerous position.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, ultimately, it was fine this time around because Kane didn't go head first into the boards. But like, come on, we got to protect our players a little bit. And the fact that the funny thing about this one too is they reviewed the play, and the explanation that Jack gave through on the broadcast was like they were reviewing it for kicking on Kane or something like that. But if you're going to review it, how do you not at least tack on 2 minutes for Kucherov hitting a guy in the numbers? I don't understand it.
And the only reason that like Evander Kane didn't go head first into the boards is because he was so strong on his skates. I mean, I could think of a number of guys that get drilled in the back like that, and they're going head first in the boards. BM, we were in our group chat thinking, okay, this is going to get reviewed. Okay, this is definitely going to. And then they said they were thinking 5 minutes for a trip, and man, I have no idea what's going on.
It's wild, right?
It was so weird. I don't even know that I've seen a play like that before.
Like a review in terms of reviewing a penalty, or
yeah, like a review. I don't know. I've seen like, oh, we thought that might have been a kicking, and then all of a sudden, no, it's just a trip. He was down on the ground. She tripped over the guy's leg, and then it was just so odd because we all thought they were like, oh, well, Kucherov's going to get one here. This makes sense, and then he somehow ends up on the power play 10 seconds later. It was very bizarre to me.
Just a little update here for you guys. Vegas trailing Detroit 3-1, which good for the Oilers. The Seattle Kraken just taking a 3-2 lead over the Devils. I would tell you who scored, but my computer is going quite slow here. So we'll check back in on that one, but obviously not ideal if the Kraken are going to win.
I'm curious, what did you guys think of big old Vinny Winnie, as Jay likes to call him? I'm seeing a lot of people bringing him up in the chat right now. BM, what'd you think? You got another point?
You know what? I legitimately thought he was going to score, and I legitimately thought that I was going to be celebrating a Vinny Desharnais goal. I was so pumped up for the guy. I was leaping off my couch, fist skyward, and then I see it goes off Ryan McLeod, and he goes, yeah, it hit me. But yeah, Vinny Desharnais, what's he got now? 4 assists? The guy has just come in and made an immediate impact. He's playing quiet hockey, which is fine. That's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, he's now up to, just taking a look here, 3 assists on the season. And I mean, the one thing that stood out to me is just the trust that he has from the coaching staff. Empty net with 2.5 minutes left. Obviously, it was a 1-goal game at that point, and Desharnais is out there. I mean, they trust him in those situations. And it was kind of brought up today on the Gregor show, just that like his ability to transition from the AHL to the NHL is so seamless, perhaps because he kind of plays a simple game and he doesn't have to do too much. He knows what he has to do. And it was able to translate going from the AHL to the NHL. And I think he's done a fine job of doing so. But yeah, I mean, he finds a way to get the puck on net, right? And McLeod scores the goal. He's kind of the benefactor of it. But yeah, he's been awesome. And I don't know if there's anyone else right now in the AHL. Like I think the Oilers and the Condors, have kind of exhausted all the options to bring up everyone who might be ready now. Now you got to kind of reload the shelves there in Bakersfield. But what a great pipeline they've had the last couple of years getting guys ready. And, I think, not just Desharnais, but if you look at some of the other guys, McLeod and now Dylan Holloway, I thought had a good game, drew a penalty tonight. Like you're starting to see from the start of the year, it was maybe, I don't know, process over points and developing these guys. And, and here we are just past the midway point of the season. A lot of them are starting to kind of figure it out at the NHL level.
Yeah, man.
It really
just bringing it back to a guy like Vinny. I mean, how do you not cheer for a guy who's sticking around in the AHL for that long? He finally gets his break and he runs with it. Like he has taken his chance, excuse me, and he's running with it and he's biking with it, just like BM's showing us right there. And he's just, pouncing on the opportunity. And it's so refreshing to see. He's a fan favorite. It's funny because now I don't know who I love more, Klim Kostin or Vinny Desharnais. And it's such a good problem to have.
It's nice. And just even the story, who knows how long Vinny Desharnais is going to be with the Oilers, or maybe he does stick it out. But even just the fact that a 7th round pick in this franchise grinded his way into playing a handful of NHL games, it's an amazing story. So every game that he gets to play, I'm super pumped for him. And if he can just maintain a quiet level and be steady as he has been, he adds a nice flavor back on the defensive group.
We are now at 140 people tuning in on YouTube. So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this fine Thursday evening. Connor Halley, BaggedMilk, Aaron Bordato with you here. And if you're on Facebook, also thank you for tuning in. Now I'm just looking here. I think we're up to like 86 likes on YouTube. So quick math, 14 plus 39. We're not quite there. So hey, if you haven't liked yet, give us that like. We really need that, and we'll keep it going here. Now, guys, I want to get your thoughts on Jesse Puljujarvi tonight. Kind of drew into the lineup last minute. Matthias Janmark, we found out in kind of the line rushes there wasn't good to go due to a sickness. Just bringing up the stats. Only 6 minutes 51 seconds played for JP. Took a penalty at a bad time. I mean, he wasn't going to play tonight if it wasn't for the sickness. BaggedMilk, start with you. What's going to happen here with old JP?
Stuff sledding in.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the stats. I was just like, oh, yeah, I forgot he did play a little bit. And then I looked 6:51. I was like, that's a tough one. I saw him in the penalty box. That's where I noticed him most. But, you know what, to be honest, it kind of bums me out. I hate that we're here with Jesse Puljujarvi because once he came back from Finland, he had a great start to his year. And we were just like, yes, we're building on something. We're building on something. And just it never really took that next step in the evolution. And now that he's in his own head, probably feeling no confidence or next to none, it's tough to watch for me to watch him go out this way, because you've got people cheering for him. They want to dance on his grave. And then you've got other people celebrate him like he's the best player to hit this franchise ever. And it's just, I'm being hyperbolic. Settle down, comment section. But like, it bums me out,
Yeah, it's sad. He's just a guy you want to cheer for. We all have. At least we have some of this love that we had for him. We can put it towards Klim Kostin. At least I have that. But I saw our own Tyler Yaremchuk. The guy's addicted to breaking stories. But he said that the Anaheim GM was in attendance. I know we've heard some rumors about that. Pool, I guess, got showcased. But I don't think it went the way that he or we would have wanted it to go. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I even wonder when you talk about showcasing Jesse Puljujarvi, like I feel like people know. I mean, 4 goals this year. You're making him a trade offer. Like, what's it going to be? I don't know what his value is. I know people have been reporting that it was a 3rd round pick in the offseason. Dell on Facebook says JP is going back to Europe. Maybe he is. I mean, we've seen him go back to Finland before. Maybe that's a route he takes. I still think there's probably a team in the NHL that would like him on the squad. maybe it's a bottom 6 role, but they didn't select him with the 4th overall pick. So there's not that expectation. It's like, hey, if we can get a guy who can fill this spot, he'd be fine. Also, can't be $3 million. I think that's obviously the price point is going to be a bit of an issue for a lot of people with this one, but I cheer for him. He's a likable guy. I just wish we saw some area of improvement in his game.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate the defensive side of his game, but on the other side, I struggle with people that say he hasn't had a chance, because he's played so much time with Connor McDavid this year, and it didn't work out. And when we had Evander Kane on the Real Life podcast a couple of weeks back, he was talking about how, listen, man, playing with Connor's not easy. You got to think the way he does. You kind of got to have an idea of where he needs you to be at certain times, and it's not easy, and it didn't work, and it bums me out. And all I hope for the kid is that wherever he ends up next, that he figures it out. I think there's a player here. Edmonton's not the place to come back and win your game back, and it sucks, but it's true.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, if he's going to be a guy in your top 6, you're probably not a very good hockey team right now. I mean, I hope that he can go find a place where, he can find his game and get some of that confidence, but in Edmonton, I just don't think it's the spot. And maybe he's part of a package to bring someone else in. I mean, if the Oilers are to make any big moves, they're going to have to get some cap space, and his $3 million would open up some things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the lovable Finn in Puljujarvi. We're up to 141 people on the YouTube, and I think 89.
Let's go.
Do I sound super old when I call it the YouTube? I mean, that was unintentional, but
your radio comes out when you call it the text line too.
The comment section. Get in on the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
We hit 100 likes.
There we go.
101 over here.
That's it. Well, let's add another 25 or so there. Make sure you give us the old like. Keep on chiming in here at the comment section on YouTube. I think Liam's still in here. Liam, my question: how many bananas tonight? Because there was some points of that game where it was a little bit stressful. I just want to make sure you got the potassium in tonight. How many do you guys think? 2, 3? Like, what's the rate for Liam tonight?
Oh, I see he's at a solid 2. I hung out with Liam a lot when we were in Vegas. He's a 2 banana man. That's a casual little Thursday night for the kid.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering if the banana thing was like a little played up, and then we landed in Vegas, and like the first thing he did, I think, or in the morning, was go buy a whole thing of bananas, and he was taking them down every morning. And shout out Captain Felton, because he brought his own bananas to gift Liam. What a good guy!
It's very nice. Kind people.
Does Liam,
Connor?
Oh, I mean, I'm feeling the love. Absolutely. Yeah. Does he go organic, or is he just a regular guy, just an average Joe?
Well, if you're working on your body like I am, I think the most important thing is that you end up feeding the temple. You got to make sure you're shredded, make sure your diet's tight. And I think that's really what Liam's trying to do here.
What's that tattoo?
I'm pretty sure that is Liam.
What kind of tattoo you got there?
Pretty sure it's a bear.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it's a bear or a wolf. All I know is I'm super veiny, and that's what I'm really impressed by. I've really been getting
really
a pump.
Vascular. Yeah, that's what you want. I've heard that's what you want when you really work out like that. Liam will let us know, I'm sure. Just go to the Oilers in this 5-game winning streak. This is their second 5-game winning streak. The previous was back in October. They beat the Penguins, Blues, Blackhawks, Flames, and Preds. Then they would go on to lose 3 straight. With their next opponents being the Canucks, Blue Jackets, and Blackhawks, I don't think they'll lose the next 3 straight. I'll knock on some wood here just to be safe.
Hey,
but
what are you doing over there?
I have that power, I know. But it's been really encouraging to see. Now, taking care of business against the Ducks, the Sharks, but then Vegas and Tampa Bay protecting 1-goal leads. That to me is something that is a really good sign. And, we talked about it on Saturday. You guys were at the game, and I'll just say, BaggedMilk, you talked about it. When the Oilers scored the first goal, it sounded like a home game. The crowd there was awesome. Oilers Nation took over, and it was great to hear. But in that third period, they get the 1-goal lead, and they shut it down. Tonight against Tampa, with some of the best players in the NHL swarming, they're able to shut it down. What did you think about this team's ability and maybe newfound ability to protect 1-goal leads?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, when the 2-goal lead evaporated, I wasn't feeling so fly as unfortunately Sugar Ray wouldn't be appreciative of my flyness at that moment. It felt like, oh no, is this going to happen again? And then when Connor scored in the first couple of minutes in the third period, you're like, okay, you're back in the lead. You're in a good spot here. You just have to ride through these 18 minutes. But at the same point, you can't just sit back and try and play prevent defense. And they did a good job of it. They looked like a team that can play with a 1-goal lead, not one that needs to score 7 to win. And that's something that hasn't been there all year. And I love it. I'm really appreciative of it. I hope it lasts because we've been fooled before, but this time they're looking real sharp.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about this stretch, it's starting to feel different. And, you maybe thought it was an outlier, but again, tonight against one of the best offenses, the third period was their lowest shooting period. They only had 8 shots, and some of those came at the end. So, you don't really expect the Oil to be a team to tighten it up in the third period and, play the kind of game they need to do. But they did tonight, and we got to give them their credit and give them their pros here, because that was something to see in the third period. And it instills you in confidence, Connor, you said, with the teams we got coming up. I think we can really make some moves here and really go on a run.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb says, I don't want to speak too soon, but I could see them winning the next 8. So I mentioned Vancouver, Columbus, Chicago. That's Detroit, Philly, Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit, and then they've got New York. So yeah, the schedule is favorable. You do have to go out there and win them, but definitely a schedule they can take advantage of. Mo says, see you boys in Vancouver on Saturday. I'm going to be there. Make some noise when you're there, Mo. The yawn on the bench was the nail in the coffin for me. Ship him. I believe that's referring to Puljujarvi. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes games get boring. Maybe he didn't sleep too well. He wasn't expecting to play in this game. And sorry to reference the radio station, but Struddy once told us a story about he got called into game action late. The night before, he was drinking beers with an assistant coach. Mike Rupp told us he took the kids to Dunkin' Donuts where they pigged out, got called into action late. So, I mean, there's situations where you get called in late and maybe you didn't prepare the way you should have. I don't know, maybe JP had a bit of a sleep in and didn't get that afternoon nap in, assuming he wasn't going to play. So maybe he was a little bit tired. I don't know. I don't want to hold that one against him too much. But that'll happen. I think you guys, and I think the Kraken's still up 3-2. Sorry to just veer off on a scoreboard, but yeah, Kraken's still up 3-2 with 4 minutes left, and the Red Wings lead the Vegas Golden Knights with 2 minutes to play. The Oilers shouldn't need to be scoreboard watching this early in the season. I mean, it's midway point, but probably still in a position where they can kind of control their own destiny with the schedule ahead.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where you have a bunch of time until you don't. And if I'm getting in the lab to work on the next little bit of this winning streak, I just think that the Oilers need to keep this going. They need to make sure they're playing simple hockey as they have been. They haven't, if you guys probably would agree with me, over the last 5 games that they've won, they're not trying to be too cute. They're just playing north-south, and sometimes that's the best way to play. And right now that's successful for the Oilers. So I think the recipe has to just be keep it going. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Yeah, the Canucks are on Saturday. Yes, they're a disaster. Yes, the biggest thing that happened in their game last night was a fart. But you can't play down to your competition, because we've seen what happens with the Oilers team when they do this. They get burned all the time, and we just cannot have that on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they just continue to pedal the metal. The classic, Liam said it today, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep riding the wave that we are on. I know we are a team that does tend to take them lightly, but something about this, after we had just gone through our little lull, and now we're on our upswing back up here, I don't see them taking these teams lightly. I see them using them as building blocks and trying to string some wins together here.
In the chat, sorry, go ahead, BaggedMilk. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I love what Aaron just said. They just got to keep it going here and hope, like, the building blocks they put down on this 5-game winning streak, if they keep those going, if they keep playing the same way they have, then they're going to get this going for a little bit here. And all of a sudden, we're going to be challenging for the division lead. I hope that after a win like this against a team like Tampa, they can see Vegas. It's right there. We're not talking about a 10-point difference anymore, or 9 points, or whatever it could have been earlier in the week. They're right there. Get the division.
I just want to say quickly, your your editing tonight has been fantastic. I think these are real shots of you. But to the people on the YouTube and the Facebook comment section, send in some requests. Where do you want to see BaggedMilk go next? We're really going to test his computer and multitasking skills here on Oilers Nation After Dark.
Your segues have been incredible as you switch from picture to picture. I gotta give him his props.
You know what? I've been quietly typing away behind the scenes here, and if I'm being honest, I'm running out of ideas. So hit me up, comment section.
Yeah, comment section will take care of you. Want to get in there? A ski bum. 12:30 says Broberg has looked great over the stretch. Genesis says Broberg has really found it for the stretch. The stretch is a common word here, but yeah, Philip Broberg. I don't know what you guys think, but there's games where I don't really notice him, and I don't mean that in a bad way, right? Like if he's not being noticed, that means he's not making mistakes, and for me, that's perfectly fine. Every once in a while, I love to see a guy step up, make a play, be noticeable, but for a young defenseman and Philip Broberg still finding his game, not being noticed is not a bad thing. Just under 13 minutes tonight, he got 22 seconds of power play time and 1 second on the PK. So he's earning that trust on special teams, clearly. What did you guys think of Philip Broberg tonight?
Philip Broberg has been quietly steady and quietly solid, and that's what I really want to see from a young defenseman. And like you said, he played 12:58 tonight. That's not a ton of minutes, but he was quiet and steady. He's got a shot on goal. He's got a block shot. He's got a +1 rating. I know people don't like plus minus anymore, but those are some nice little check marks for a guy who's still trying to find his way in this league and starting to look better as he gets more at bats.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier today on Oilers Nation Every Day, but with the way he's been playing lately, I know we've always been, trade chips, prospects, we got to push for these years. But Tyler said it today. He goes, I don't know if I want to give up a guy right now with the promise that he's showing. And I was just looking at, I believe it was Bob Stauffer's tweet from earlier today. It said, Broberg, before tonight's game, Broberg is averaging just over 16 minutes a game. He has 2 assists, 2 points. He's +8. Man, what's there to complain about? Like, that's great for a young guy, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in these games, they're winning hockey games, and if he's only going to play 12, 13 minutes, that's fine. Just ease him into it. I'd rather that than him playing 19 minutes with a couple turnovers, right? Like, ease him into it. It'll be fine. I think the way they're handling him is pretty good. Loomis is Bordato, more like Brodato. I have a source, Aaron, that tells me when you were in Nate, you had a radio show, and you worked Bro into it, correct?
Oh, wow. You've been doing your research. Yeah, it was actually called The Brodown, which you can catch The Brodown with BaggedMilk tomorrow on Oilers Nation Every Day. So, BM, I did start The Brodown first. I mean, just so you know. But also, it says Brotato there. If you just switch the letters, my name is Brodato as well. And that is my Instagram handle.
Brodato. Yeah, I believe I'll tell you this. Your mom told me that. If that gives you any...
What?
Okay, we'll talk about it after. It wasn't your actual mom. It's someone I work with at TSN.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, we've got a lot of requests here for BaggedMilk, and he's had a minute to think and maybe work on these. Ski Bum says we need Surfer BaggedMilk. Dr. Gonzo milking some big old cows. A dead fish sky high like the Oilers. We've got some stranger. BaggedMilk should be in the fridge. Jason says at the Talus Balls. Caleb says milking cows. Genesis, where's BM with a nice glass of red wine? Larissa says Mexico. I mean, there's lots. John
I'll get
says
to work, team.
a dairy
I'm
worker.
on it.
Yeah.
BM, I see Tyler Agnew says, I want to see BM at the Taco Bell Cantina. I know that you spent enough time there on the weekend.
I did, and then my insides respectfully declined to make that photo. I have had more than enough Taco Bell Cantina until my next trip to Vegas. Thank you.
Now, what's the difference between, for us uncultured swine, what's the difference between a cantina and a regular Taco Bell, say, mixed with a KFC?
I mean, like, these ones, well, number one, most importantly, you can get cocktails. Who doesn't want to have a cocktail when you're having a couple of tacos? You can have a slushy cocktail. You can just have a beer. It's a magical land of wonders in there, Connor. Sometimes if you go in and the mood is just right, there's a DJ late at night. It's a whole vibe in there. There's flashing lights. It's great.
You've never seen a group of guys go go down to Vegas, and like the first thing we want to do, we were like, Taco Bell Cantina, let's go. We got to fuel up.
Well, sometimes you just need to make sure your body chemistry is right. You got to get a taco in you, and you'll just feel better. You'll feel better about yourself. Again, it's all about taking care of the temple.
Oh, that's why I respect you guys. Here's some news. Detroit knocks off Vegas 3-2. That's good news for the Oilers.
Nice.
And the Devils have just tied it up with the Kraken. So it's 3-3 with 1:14. I believe they pulled the goalie to get that one. We'll try to keep you up to date if we're still on when that game wraps up. I don't know if you guys have anywhere better to be. For me, kind of good right now. Lots of stuff coming in here. Good. Now Caleb's eating some noodle, or he says BaggedMilk should be eating some noodle. A lot of people fired up here that the Devils tied it up. Stealth says 3-3. Very good news, and the Oilers get the win. So, I mean, in the last little while here, seems like the teams in the Pacific have been kind of trending downwards, while the Oilers on the flip side continuing upwards. And like we said, easier games on the horizon. Oilers obviously still need to win those games, but it is good to see. I'll ask you guys this one. Connor McDavid continues his hot play. Leon Draisaitl also, 27 goals on the season. It's early, and there's lots of time still, but Connor McDavid, 39 goals. How many do you think he's going to score this year? Because the way he's doing it too, we're seeing him score in the rush. We're seeing the confidence. There was one I wrote down in the second period when Maroon was on the penalty box for his second penalty. McDavid with kind of a sneaky play where he tries to go backhand and sneak it short side, top shelf, like a move that I love to see. Like that's a goal scorer's move in my opinion. How many goals do you think this guy can score this year? Because it's unbelievable what he's doing.
I don't want to put a cap on it.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm with Aaron. I'm just with Aaron. I don't want to doubt him ever. Because I thought if he hit 50 this year, I'd be like, man, I'm pumped for Connor. Hit 50 this year. Like that's another amazing accomplishment in his career. But the way he's on this heater, and it's not like he's scoring garbage goals either. They're beauties. Every single one of them is beauties. And it makes you feel like there is no limit. It makes you feel like all you want to do is watch whatever he can do next. You want to watch whatever he can pull out. You want to grab a glass of red wine and you want to just enjoy the show. I was really working for that one. The old air, I was really vamping on that one because the airdrop wasn't working and it didn't go through the first two times. So I had to come spinning around again.
The delivery was impeccable once again.
I like that couch too. It screams class. So last year Austin Matthews had 60. So I think 2 weeks ago I was talking to your Yaremchuk and I predicted 61 just to one up Austin Matthews. We've got Zachary here on Facebook saying 66. I'll give you some predictions. Dr. Gonzo 63, Jason has 60, Loomis has 62, Eric says 60 plus. We need an exact number, Eric, please. Kevin says 70, Tyler Agnew 69, nice. Also Dwayne says 60. We've got Jimmy saying 70. So high numbers. Seattle now going to overtime, so there's your update on that one. And Larissa, we appreciate you letting us know. 109 likes. So if you're just getting in here and you're just tuning in, give us a like on the old YouTube. Scott's got us at 64 goals for McDavid. I mean, yeah.
Everybody here thinks 60 plus. So I think we can all kind of agree. But once again, I don't want to ballpark it. I don't want to use that J word. I don't want to do anything to him. Let's just appreciate whatever we get and enjoy the ride.
Be a disservice to McDavid to try to put a limit on it. I think it was in Mean Girls. The limit does not exist, right?
That's right.
You guys have seen.
I love that.
Anytime we can bring Mean Girls into this, I think we have to go there.
Yeah, I mean, if BaggedMilk could become a cast member of Mean Girls, that would be a nice way to top off the night.
I'm on it.
Stall.
What else can we talk about? I think that we've got some good stuff going. Yaremchuk, when he's on, a lot of people are like, hey, take your shirt off, which would live into the Oilers Nation After Dark type thing. For BaggedMilk, we've got some just the journey he's been on and going everywhere, the things he does, we're starting to get some stuff going on here. I'm enjoying it, Aaron.
Yeah, no, this is a good time. I'm loving these after victories. It's so much better. The vibes are so high. Everybody in the chat. We get a new cast of characters every time, Connor.
Oh yeah, we love it. We love it. We'll reluctantly take on the opposing sides too if they ever want to come in here. After a loss, it'd be great so we could pile on. But yeah, it's a lot going on here. Now, I think we should mention Zach Hyman this year. 23 goals on the season. I think Oilers Nation, you guys actually had the graphic up there today that he had more points than Austin Matthews. And I mean, he's just doing all the little things, not to mention the fact that he's had like 100 goals taken away and being disallowed. But man, this guy, he continues to bring it. I know there was some negativity saying, down the road, he might not like his contract, but I like to live in the moment. He's been fantastic for this team and gives it every night. Just really what this team needed.
You know what? I'm going to worry about the last part of his contract when that gets here. And in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy him scoring goals while I go to work washing windows. And I'm just a working man. He's a working man's goal scorer. And that's why this idiot is going to embrace Zach Hyman now. And maybe when he starts to slow down a little bit later. Because the memories he's giving us right now, there's going to be a children's book about this one day. And I think we should all embrace that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, not only is he leading Matthews in points, but he's also leading him in children's books. So scoreboard,
Undeniable.
everybody. Scoreboard.
Undeniable. You can't disprove it.
It's like you can say that about the contract. You can say that about, all kinds of guys. We are in win now mode. He's delivering right now. Let's not think about the future. Let's enjoy right now. And I tell you, as long as Zach Hyman is flashing me that goofy smile when he's 30 plus whatever, dude, I am totally okay with it. And we'll enjoy the now.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I don't think he's going to slow down that much. Like maybe the production drops off a little bit. He's not quite as quick as he once was. But yeah, I'm like you guys. Live in the moment. Enjoy it while we can. The Kraken win in overtime, I do believe. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news. On the flip side, the Dallas Stars lead the LA Kings 4-0. So that's good.
Take the good with the bad.
Well, you can't win them all, I suppose.
Well, man, you're right. You're right. 100%. It's pretty good news for the Oilers, though. And like we've talked about a little while here, winnable games coming up in the future for the Edmonton Oilers. The next game, what we got? Vancouver, Saturday. A winnable game. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks right now, absolute tire fire. I mean, will Bruce Boudreau be the head coach on Saturday? Maybe. We'll see. Maybe it could be Rick Tocchet. Those are the rumors coming out of Vancouver. I feel like, they're not letting people into the press box. There's a lot of problems going on in Vancouver. We don't have to worry about that, though. The Oilers there on Saturday night. It's an 8 o'clock start. We'll be back probably around 10:40, 10:45 or so. We'll hope you guys will all be
watching
with us. Come on, work a Mean Girls reference in here. Bagged Milk. You can do it. Say it.
It's been a while since I've seen it. It's been a minute.
Vancouver can't sit with us. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. They don't even go here. Okay, let's get some predictions for the game on Saturday night. We'll start off with you, Bagged Milk.
4-2 win, baby. Log it in.
AB?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm always riding puck line, which tonight cashed, courtesy of Betway. Bet responsibly. But, yeah, I just got to say, so I do the Oilers show and the Canucks show. And the vibes lately couldn't be more opposite ends of the spectrum. The Oilers show every day is positive. The chat is loving it, stringing these wins together. And the Canucks, they are a dumpster fire right now. And it's honestly, it makes me appreciate what we have all the more. But I'm going to go puck line. I think I'm going to go 6-3.
Get those predictions in on the chat here. We'll get to some of them as well. Just very quickly, Aaron, who does the Canucks Daily Show? And if people want to catch it, Canucks Army, correct?
Yeah, Canucks Army. But so it's live on the Nation Network YouTube channel. It's hosted by Chris Faber and David Cudrelli, two really, really funny dudes. And they, they cover the team. It's their lifeline. They do it from above Rogers Arena.
Mhm.
Yeah. They do it from up above there. They got a great view. Great guys. Highly recommend it. They are hilarious.
Yeah, and if you're an Oilers fan, you want to go in there and just kind of scoff at them.
Yeah.
I know Quadrelli a little bit, so funny people. I'm sure they're having about as good of a time as possible. We've got predictions from Troy 4-1, Chris says 6-0, 7-3 from Peyton, Rusty the Reckless Optimist, one favorite, 7-1 Oilers win. Genesis is 6-5. We've also got Dr. Gonzo 16-1. Wouldn't that be something? 5-0, 6-0, 5-2. Larissa, our like counter tells us we're up to 117 likes, so that's absolutely awesome. And on Facebook, Zachary says 7-2 Oilers with McDavid with a hat trick. Also, Scott 4-2 Oilers. I'm going to say 5-1 Oilers. Another point night for the boys. They really get going. And Stuart Skinner, first game since being a father, has some success. Plays well, and I don't know. I don't know what the odds are, but do you guys think Bruce Boudreau is the Vancouver Canucks coach next Monday?
At this rate, I hope he's the coach forever. You know, he's doing some good work over there. I think he's doing fine work. They're not shitty enough to get Bedard. They're just shitty enough to be irrelevant. I think he's doing a great job. I don't see what the problem is.
I couldn't have said better myself. I agree with BM. They just keep doing what they're doing, and the view from over here looks fantastic. Let them ride. Let them ride.
They found their sweet spot. All right, guys. Well, appreciate both of you. BaggedMilk, a lot of fun. Your work was exquisite tonight. Aaron, you as well. Get back on that horse. And to everyone who tuned in tonight, thank you so much. Cornerstone Insurance. Check them out, cornerstoneins.ca. Great company. And also, Aaron, you mentioned it, betway.com. Have some fun there, but bet responsibly, 19 plus.
Responsibly.
Betway.com. And take the Oilers. Puck line.
Always puck line.
Is that like money line?
Not bet the puck. It's the money
You
line.
gotta win by 2.
It's the money line, but a little spicy.
Oh, okay. Well, hey. Also, take the over. That's how you got to live your life. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Oilers Nation After Dark. We'll talk to you guys Saturday night. Hope to see you then. And enjoy your Friday.
See you, buddy.